communicating your life. You know, what I'm saying? It's not like you're trying to make a Christian rap song.
Yeah.
You're a Christian making a song.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I think that's another thing that's the separation too. I think that Christian hip hop, what makes it that is it's much more intentional and it's focused on Christ.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's very more concentrated on that. So so they were kind of like just taken aback by like the fact that it felt so organic. And I didn't call it Christian hip hop. I just called it I'm a hip hop artist, but they could tell from being around me that day that I was really a Christian.
Yeah.
And you know, me and Ty got cool, and I started talking to guy named Eddie Ed from white dude from Gotee. He was like one of the higher ups of the label, and they actually ended up flying. Ty flew me to Nashville. I remember that's what it was. He flew me to Nashville to just record some records.
Yeah,
because he was like a producer too.
Yeah,
He wasn't one of the three that started Gotee Records. He was the production side of the label.
Oh wow.
So he produced most of the music. Him and DJ Form.
So that's what incorporate elements.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think I believe so. So but he did production for Grits, Out of Eden, Toby, DC Talk, other groups. So I'm coming from the East Coast, from that pocket, and with that energy, and I'm thinking like, okay, well, I know he got something for me.
Yeah,
like, I know he got something. Like he's telling me he got stuff for me, so I'm gonna just trust it. Like, and what do I have to lose? Like, they're flying me to Nashville on their dime, putting me up, making sure I'm good, because to court me for a situation, I have nothing else to do. Right? So I went, and it was in Nashville, like right outside of Nashville in the suburbs. Like Todd had a studio in his house, and I remember Liquid was there. That's when I did Paradise. That first trip is when I did Paradise, the bonus track on Pages, the re-release of Pages of Life.
Got you. Okay.
Paradise, it's on streaming. It's on the streaming version of Pages of Life. It's not on the vinyl because it wasn't on.
Got you.
That we did once. It's lot to unpack there.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, so I knocked out Paradise. I knocked out some other records. And he told me, he was like, listen, a lot of people think that I'm bringing you down here to sign you to Gotee, but I'm actually selling my portion of Gotee on good terms. I'm selling my portion and starting my own label. And I want you to be the first artist.
Wow.
And he was like, the label was called Beatmart Records. It was just Beatmart Productions at the time.
Yeah.
So he was like, I'm doing Beatmart Recordings, and I want you to be the first artist. So I took that with me back to Philly and took some beats back to Philly from Liquid, took some beats back from Tide. I think I had some beats from some other producers from Nashville that was real known. Other dudes that worked with Toby. He took me around Toby. I remember he took me to Toby's house. I remember being at Toby's house. I remember looking around like, dang, this is a nice house. Like, I remember thinking like, this is a nice house. Like I met his wife. I remember his wife was the first white Jamaican person. I remember she was so nice to me too. She was so like inquisitive about like me and where I was from.
Yeah.
And, you know what I'm saying? And I think I made a mention of something in his house about like the cabinets, because my dad like does that type of work, you know what I'm saying?
Got you.
I remember I said the cabinets was like cherry wood.
Yeah.
I remember I heard something like he's like, wow, he's like, oh, he know what cherry wood is. I was like, they probably thinking because I'm from Philly, all I know is Philly, all I know is the neighborhood.
Yeah.
They don't know that like both my parents are Christian. I grew up in church just as much as I grew up outside. Like I'm artistic, I'm into things aside from just hip hop and music. Like, and I have I got depth.
Yeah.
And so, but that's how the deal came about.
Wow. So did you not like want to do another project with them? Was it
with
Beatmart? Yeah.
So basically what happened was this with the Beatmart situation. they actually had, before my album came out, before this crazy thing, before Fountain of Life came out, Beatmart had actually dropped me.
Oh wow.
He actually dropped me. Beatmart had dropped me because Hell's Diary came out maybe a month or two after I signed with Beatmart.
Oh, so they was trying to get Hell's Diary to be on Beatmart.
No, they just was like, I think it was a clause that I may have overlooked or something like that.
Gotcha.
Because in my mind, I thought because it wasn't coming out through another label,
yeah,
still put it out through me, independent. It's just me being a ignorant young artist.
Yeah,
like, ignorant in terms of the industry.
Yeah.
So I put it out, and I got a call from my lawyer saying that they had dropped me. So about a week later, I actually got on the phone with the guys from the label, and we kind of worked it out. And they I guess you technically can say reinstated to the label. And then we did because the album was probably like almost half done.
Yeah.
And then we ended up putting it out, and it did well. It made its rounds. It's actually my least favorite album I've ever done.
I could tell.
It's my least favorite. It was, but I stand by it. But I stand by it though, because nobody forced me to make those songs.
Yeah.
Like every song creatively came from me. It wasn't tied like, yo, make this song or
gotcha
beat or do this beat. Actually, I produced on that album. I produced Stained Glass Windows.
Okay.
But I did the actual hands-on making.
Yeah.
But the piano, I hummed that melody and he played it as I was humming it. I told him I wanted the drums to be like he did the drums. So it was technically, I told him what the beat was that I wanted, and he just did it for me.
Got you. But like even with that, it's an amazing like I love that project. Like, We Cry Blood is I love that record. I love that record. Yeah, I love the joint with you and Rob Hodge on that joint with Rob Hodge here, Jay Light.
Fire, the joint Fire.
Yeah, I love that record. I just think it was a good album. Yeah. Hip hop was born in that record. Which he's now. I remember recently I saw something like a couple years ago with like he was working with Karan Hawthorne. I was like, Kid Classic. That's the dude that used to work with Japhia.
Yeah, man.
So but I just think that's just the ill of it though. But I get it. I understand why. Because sometimes when because coming from Pages and going to Fountain, you could tell it's like you know what it's like? It's like Nas doing Illmatic going to It Is Written. Right. Or not, or I Am, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like or Nostradamus, because it's like it's more trying to do different things and trying different flavors versus my boom bap underground hip hop sound that people are used to me. Because even Hell's Diary was Hell's Diary had some like more sounding East Coast. Like mainstream sounding records on that album, honestly, and then you still had those in the cut underground hip hop records on Hell's Diary, so it was like a best of both worlds. You know what I'm saying?
And the interesting thing about Hell's Diary was that really was an album that I did with me trying to, if I'm honest, communicate to my naysayers after Pages of Life that I actually can make an album that communicates about my faith.
Really? So you felt the effects of that? Like you felt the whole you ain't saying Jesus enough.
Yeah, I heard it, and it wasn't like I'm gonna start saying Jesus more. It's like, okay, if I did an album that was a part of that community, what would I do?
Yeah.
And like, what is missing that I think is missing from that community?
Yeah.
If I'm gonna do an album to respond to that community, and not just to respond to that community, because I genuinely want to make that album.
Yeah.
But if it's going to be a response in any way to that community of Christian hip hop, I'm gonna do an album that could be possibly in that community that I think is missing.
Got you.
And that's what everybody who, from whoever I talked to, they always like, yo, this is what we felt like we really hadn't heard in that community. You know what I'm saying? So by the time I got to Fountain of Life, when I signed that deal with them, because there's confusion behind that as well for people, because they like, well, if we ask you if you do Christian hip hop, 9 times out of 10, Japhia, you'll say no. However, you signed with Beatmart, which is a Christian hip hop label. Here's good argument, good inquiry. Whoever feels that way, it's a fair assessment. Here's my take on it though.
Yeah.
My take is this: when I signed with Beatmart, essentially, what I had in my brain was not me signing to a Christian hip hop label. Was not even necessarily signing to a Christian label. Here's why: because I still had only reference I had for what Beatmart could be, because I was the first artist. You gotta remember.
Yeah.
Only reference I had for what it could possibly be was what they did prior at Gotee.
Got you.
Everything on Gotee to me wasn't like heavy-handed Christian rap.
Yeah.
It was like the artist on Gotee was on Jay Leno.
Yeah.
Like Reliant K, you had
Jennifer Knapp.
All these people was on mainstream outlets as well. They just were Christian.
Yeah.
They weren't like shying away from their faith though.
Yeah.
But they weren't saying necessarily like, oh, all we do is for the Christian community.
Yeah.
Like that's the sole purpose of what we do is with that's like I would never have signed with Beatmart if I felt like that's the space that they were exclusively trying to frame me around.
Got you.
Yeah, so when I signed with them, it was like, okay, they're gonna do with me the same thing they did with like Jennifer Knapp and even with Toby in some regards, or with Grits. Grits was known outside of Christian hip hop. Grits have been on hip hop documentaries that's not even Christian.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like, oh yeah, I'm getting ready to sign. I say I don't do Christian hip hop, but here I am getting ready to sign with a Christian hip hop label. That wasn't the mentality.
Did you bring Rob Hodge in?
I did bring Rob in. Like I played. Okay. I remember me and Todd Collins. We went to the mall one day in Nashville when I was down there. This was after I signed my deal, because I knew to do it after I signed my deal.
Got you.
It would be more effective for Rob. So we went to the mall and I played some of his songs that he was doing for a mixtape he was working on.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Who is this?" I said, "This one of my best friends is from my crew in Philly." He was like, "Do we have a record deal?" I said, "Nah, he looking for one." He's like, "Well, why don't you just bring him up with us?" I was like, "Cool, I'll call him. I'll call him now. Let's put him on speakerphone."
Yeah.
I called him, put him on speakerphone, let him talk to Todd, and then I think maybe a month later, Rob was in Nashville.
Wow. So I love I'm Rich. That's one of my favorite records too. I love that record.
Yeah. So he never actually signed a record deal.
Yeah.
Like I did, but he signed a deal where they put his album out though that he presented to them.
Got you. Did you?
Yeah.
Did was that something where like that label was starting to be, because it had some street flavor to it. I mean, you guys brought that flavor to it, and then of course you had like the Soul P's, then you had some other people that was on the label as well. What made it go like start off with how hard it was with you guys? Because I remember the first the DJ Morphosis, the best of the submissions, going from that and you guys to like more like not popish rap, but just more like you know what I mean?
Yeah, great question. So here's what happened. So basically, in my opinion, and shout out to all the other guys that they signed. Me and Soul P are actually real cool still. He goes by Easy McCoy now. Doing his thing with like the syncing, like with sync stuff on movies and TV and stuff like that. Like
that's what the bag is now, man. That sync money. Crazy.
Yeah, So he actually is pulling me into that now. So basically, I think, him aside, I think that they started signing artists that they shouldn't have signed.
Got you.
And I told them that I'm the one that brought Petty D to them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I told them that they should sign Petty D.
Wow.
And then they
you could be an A&R label, man. When you want to be
I'm telling you now, like I was gonna go get into that too, but that's some of the stuff that I'm planning on doing. It may not be necessarily for a label. It may be for a label, but for the most part, I'm really trying to move in a space of like a Gucci Mane.
Got you. Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like,
I got what you mean.
You know what I'm saying?
I understand clearly.
You get what I mean? So I'm really, because there's too many artists that come after me, and it's even now that's coming out now that's Christian, and even ones that's not Christian from Philly.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, hopefully, like I have like some space to kind of like disciple them, even
Yeah.
the ones who aren't Christian.
Yeah.
But you know, but they're making good music.
Yeah.
And they're creative, and they want my help. You know what I'm saying? They fans of my music, you know. So I really want to move in that space, even like kind of like a West Side Gun on the underground rap side too.
Yeah.
I feel like what West Side Gun does with Griselda, like how he'll like curate albums for like Rome Streets or Bodie James or Stove God Cooks or whoever else he brings to the label. They may not necessarily be signed to Griselda,
Yeah.
but put an album out through Griselda, and it'll be like, if not their best album, one of their best albums. When West Side gets behind it,
Got you.
that's what,
So
when Gucci gets behind it for like the people in Atlanta. That's what I want.
yeah.
Artists like in Christian music and outside, but I'll be honest, even probably more so even in Christian music.
Yeah. I mean, I remember I just saw something recently on Holy Culture where Q was talking about you and he was giving you props and everything. Q Flow, yeah, he was giving you props and everything. And it was just it was so funny. I ain't gonna let you, I ain't gonna hold you up, man, but I wanted to ask you, did you not want to be a part of the Salvation Army?
Salvation Army.
I thought Rob Hodge and Truth was in the joint called Salvation Army.
Oh yeah. So that was when I met Rob. That was already a thing when I met Rob. That was Rob Hodge, Truth, and T-Wise.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, well, they never asked me to be a part of it. And, you know what I'm saying? It was what it was. It was kind of like Migos. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just be a part of Migos. You can do a song with Migos.
Yeah.
You can't just be a part of it. But like,
yeah.
I know you asked me a question similar to that earlier about why I didn't become a part of Crossmovement or something like that.
Yeah.
And but yeah, like they were just the guys, you know what I'm saying? Like I knew Truth already, you know what I'm saying? So when I met Rob, I met Truth first because I knew him from school and our mothers are like sisters, but then I met T-Wise, and then I met Rob Hodge. I met Rob Hodge last, and we became the closest out of me and all three of Salvation. Yeah. So, you know, I was just a fan of seeing what they did because I was so new to you know, rap in a church space.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like a new thing to me, you know.
Yeah.
So I was learning. But yeah, in terms of like Crossmovement, you gotta understand like a lot of the divide back then was between my side and Crossmovement side.
Like the street guys, and then like
yeah, because I'm not gonna say none of those guys were street guys because before they got saved, they got some backstories too.
Oh yeah. No, but when I'm saying like, the presentation, like the presentation of like you, Jay Silas, right. Like all you guys from Philly that was on the streets. Because I remember that because I remember back in the day. I don't know if you remember the Union.com.
Yeah,
the Union had a profile, and it was like Crossmovement on this side, and it was like you guys on this side, and it was like the divide, and I was like the divide, like you know what I mean? That sounded crazy to me.
Because you gotta understand, a lot of them dudes, even from Crossmovement, was like they wasn't really jacking what I was doing. Like at that time, like they wasn't jacking what I was doing. It wasn't until they saw like how the community of Christian hip hop was kind of like siding with me in a lot of ways. I'm not saying siding with me against them, but like they were starting to embrace me more. So especially like the demographic of people who like this, the demographic at my show. Like if I had a show, because like when I started doing shows at churches, it was always strange to me because I didn't know how to perform at a church.
Yeah.
I'm like, what can you say? What can you not say? I don't want to move my hand the wrong way.
Yeah.
I don't want to do the wrong thing or say the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm still young in my faith and I'm growing. You know what I'm saying? You know, my career moving forward can be defined in this space by one wrong thing that I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of was like, you know, like they were like on their side. So it was like, it wasn't until they saw like, oh, like he's really galvanizing a demographic that is like becoming hungry for Christianity in a pure form. that we may not be in terms of like people who look aesthetically more street, even women, like the girls who listen to like the street rap and stuff like that, who was really gravitating to me. It wasn't like the theology rap guys that was really gravitating to me. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't that I didn't have like dense moments in my music that were theological. It just wasn't, that wasn't what my presentation was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
let me ask you a question, and this is a controversial question. Do you think that's why they signed R. Swift?
Probably so. Probably
because y'all kind of not. I mean, y'all was a little different, but y'all still had that street element that was kind of like missing from the traditional cross movement sense, if you get what I mean. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Because when they did their concert, Crossmovement did a concert in Philly at this big, like it's like a mainstream concert facility called the Electric Factory in Philly, right, downtown, and big venue, like all kind of people perform there, right? Not a Christian venue. So when they had this concert, they pulled people and to come and open up for them.
Yeah.
I got a call.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I ended up opening up and performing right before Crossmovement at the Electric Factory.
Wow.
And I think that was because they started to see the value in my music. They started to see that I was genuinely Christian, even though I may not talk about Jesus in every bar.
Yeah.
Saw that aside from the music, like he's actually really like a Christian. You know what I'm saying? And they saw that the type of people that I bring out to a concert when I'm performing probably wasn't going to be there unless I was there.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what happened. A lot of people came that was like from my demographic ended up being there because they like Japhia's performing at the Electric Factory. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
the support, yeah.
The support. So it was so many people in the crowd there that was there for me too.
Yeah.
So from that moment forward, I think things started to kind of change a little bit. Like it's other labels. People don't even know it's Christian rap labels that wanted to sign me. That people don't even know about. Like Exist Music wanted to sign me.
Oh,
they had like
showing some,
They wanted to sign me. Rock Soul wanted to sign me.
Wow.
Rodney Jerkins' cousin, Lee Jerkins.
Yeah. I remember that album. Yeah, I had that joint. Yeah.
He wanted to. So we went to sat at a diner and talked. Trey 9 from Much Love wanted to sign me. Gotee wanted to sign me. But Todd already. They saw Todd was pulling me in for what he was getting ready to build away from them. But Toby wanted to sign me to Gotee.
Wow.
Toby wanted to sign me to Gotee. Man, it's other labels. Like I almost signed to a label with the Roots with James Poyser from the Roots. That's on Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
James Poyser, the organist and the pianist. And he produces too. He had a label called Access Music. They was with Sony Urban. That's how Ty Tribbett was on Sony Urban.
Got you.
And
got you.
Chauncey Childs, there was partners with, he not even Christian. Chauncey Childs, he cool dude though. He's partners with James Poyser, who is a Christian. They signed Ty Tribbett and got him on Sony Music. And then they wanted to sign me. I actually had a meeting with Sony Urban and with Access Music, and they brought a rep, the head A&R from Sony Urban, to meet me.
Wow.
Sign me, but the only reason I didn't sign with him was because Sony Urban went out of business maybe 2 months later.
Dang.
Yeah.
Dang.
So it's so many different things behind the scenes connected to.
Yeah.
People don't know because I just don't do a lot of interviews, but I'm about to start doing a lot of, more talking on interviews and podcasts and stuff like that, and giving history and perspective and on, just my stance as an artist who's Christian.
Yeah.
Because I think that what Christian hip hop unfortunately has not done, in my opinion, has given dignity to those like myself who are Christian, who don't do Christian hip hop.
Got you.
Like they don't give any value or add value to what we do. You know what I'm saying? Unless we say we do Christian hip hop, unless we do it like this. Once we say we do Christian hip hop,
but I think, Japhia, honestly, man, I think now as a trailblazer,
mm-hmm.
you blaze the trail enough for people now that I don't think that matters anymore. I think now it's like you can get a show where you may get somebody who's like explicitly Christian, and then and the person after them is just like you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and everybody enjoying it. Like, you think about the No Big Deals of the world, and you think about the indie tribes of the world. Like, they will have a show with somebody who is like straight up. They have a show with KB, and KB is like explicitly Christian, but you hear them and you like, are they oh wow, they Christian. You know what I'm saying? So I think that died with this younger generation. Not saying it's dead altogether, but maybe behind the scenes, the marketing, the business, and all like that, they still may not know how to do it. But I think as the artists, I think the artists are now, man, they're coming together, bro. Like, I'm starting to see more and more of that, where it's like coming together more.
So here's the thing for me, from my perspective, I don't look at KB and No Big Deal any different. Now, obviously, I like not in terms of like their sound and aesthetic. I'm just talking about, like, I don't look at them as like, oh, KB is diehard Christian hip hop, but they're not. Like, I look at No Big Deal. I just met No Big Deal for the first time in Nashville like a year ago.
Got you.
Real cool dude, but yeah, I don't look at them as like alternatively Christian hip hop. I look at them like, okay. I mean, look where they do their shows at. I'm not saying they don't do shows at regular venues now, but that's the lion's share of their shows.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, it's like it's not as much as how different the artists are aesthetically, but just the fan base is the same.
Oh, I see what you mean. Got you.
The fan base is Christian hip hop. Like, so Christian hip hop, if it's a concert with No Big Deal and KB, I mean, they share fans. I mean, they got a big song together.
Yeah, that's true.
They just won an award at the Doves. So it's kind of like, I feel like when I think of myself, I'm not saying that even today that Christian hip hop shows wouldn't put me on like they wouldn't want me to be on a show or whatever. Like, there's a lot of Christian hip hop shows that I turned down. I just didn't think I was a good fit for it.
Got you.
For instance, like, and I don't know how much longer you want to go, but I'm good. Whenever you want to stop.
I give you a few more minutes and then we can
go.
Yeah.
So forgot what I was gonna say that quick. But like but I think that, you know, for me, you know, Christian hip hop is something that to me is very specific, even though I think that there's, you know, varying dimensions in it now more than it was before. I think that the demographic of it is still youth group central.
Yeah, it is.
And I don't rap for your kids, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying kids don't like my music. They do. But at the same time, I'm not going in the studio and I'm not saying that they go in the studio and do that, because that's what it sound like. That's what I'm saying. You saying you saying that's what we do. I'm not saying they do that. I'm just saying, when I go in I know what I do and don't do. When I go in the studio to make a song, it's not to make a song based on how I could appeal the most to the Christian demographic. I'm not really considering them. Like, even a new song, Coming Home, like, I saw somebody put a comment and was like, I thought he said he don't do Christian rap. And I'm like, bro, what you got to understand is, me being a Christian that raps, that affords me the ability to make songs about any subject that I want, including my faith. Including my faith. So if you hear me make songs about Jesus, that doesn't mean I consider my music Christian hip hop. It means that I consider me as a Christian.
Yeah.
And my vocation is hip hop, because I think that for too long, the conversation has never really been unpacked in terms of the separation, like the to be or not to be. Like, to be a Christian hip hop artist versus to be a hip hop artist who's Christian. That side, the hip hop artist who is a Christian, that side is not really unpacked in Christian hip hop. Why would it be? It's not a conversation. It's the reason that that's not a conversation, because it's different. It's not the same. It's not the same. So when people say like, "Oh, what's the difference?" Well, if it was the same, you would be talking about that just like you talk about Christian hip hop. You don't like. There's a difference in it. Like you got people like me, whoever else they may be, and you got people in Christian hip hop who their music is. When I listen to these new guys, even the new guys on these interviews, they tell me what the purpose of them making music is for. Like even if they're not like a KB. They still tell me, whether it be John Keith, whether it be the other guy from the Bay that he's traveling around who was on Sway. When they was on Sway, they made it clear. When they on other interviews, they make it clear. Like they make music for the purpose of like ministering and things like that. I'm not saying that I never want to minister in my music or that I don't. It's just that when I go in the studio, bro, like I'm not like, yo, man, like how can I? Like I make art because I like actually making art.
Yeah.
Like it's not. I didn't start make like a lot of these dudes, especially the new ones. They wasn't rapping before they was Christian.
Yeah.
That's their entry to rap. Like their Tupac is Lecrae.
Yeah.
Like John Keith said that on Sway.
Yeah.
He said my Tupac is Lecrae. Their introduction to them being a rapper is Christian rap. So by all with all due respect, like I don't expect them to even with them, like I saw them on an interview and they were saying like, well, we're trying to decide even now what we should call it. Should we call it Christian hip hop? Should we call it? I'm like, maybe they think this is a new discussion. Maybe they just never heard of me. But you know what I'm saying? But I mean, this to be or not to be Christian hip hop conversation has always been a thing with artists, whether it's been with me or even with new guys like them now. So it's a conversation, and it seems like a lot of people don't in Christian hip hop don't really care to have or don't need that. It's not even that they may not care to have it; they don't have a need to have it.
Yeah,
everybody around them affirms the title. All of the artists that are around them affirm the title Christian hip hop. Yeah, they say Christian hip hop. Yeah,
well, honestly, I think it's honestly getting hot. Honestly, like you're starting to see these people getting hot. Like Christian rap is getting hot like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I will say this: I feel like in your era, Grits, Fourth Avenue Jones was like you. Is that safe to say? And I'm not talking about style of music. I'm talking about that hip hop Christian approach. Yeah.
I would say so.
LA Simf. Yeah.
You said LA Simf? Yeah, LA Simf? Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say so, yeah. I would say so, for sure. I'm trying to think of some other people who
like Tunnel Rats. Like cats were like
to a degree. I would say Tunnel Rats.
The reason I said that because I know they was having a problem with the movement at one time. And they were making music that was like they were battling people on the West Coast too. Like they were battlers. So it wasn't like it wasn't like, you know what I mean, they love the art of hip hop. Like they like that, they love that art of hip hop, but they happen to be Christian, you know what I'm saying? So it was like guys like yourself, you know what I'm saying? Or even well, Gospel Gangsters was a little bit different, but I know they probably caught flack too from the church the way their presentation was as well. So.
Right. Yeah, so I just think that anybody who hears my music and feels like they want to call my music Christian hip hop, I please do. Like it's fine. I saw Q Flow in that interview too. He was like he made a list of like his top CHH artists, and he was like, man, I'm mad that Japhia don't call himself CHH. I would have put him like number 2. He's like, I think you would put Lecrae number 1. You know, it's like I'm not, and I was like, yo, bro, you can put me on your list. It's fine.
Yeah.
Open to interpretation, but people don't understand. My music is open to interpretation to me first.
Yeah.
Like what I define it as, because like if I was going to be like the sole purpose of my music, people say, so what would cause you to call your music Christian hip hop? Japhia, that's a good question. What would cause you to say your music is Christian hip hop? If my whole goal was to make music for the sole purpose of ministry.
Got you.
I would say I do Christian hip hop. I would say I'm a Christian hip hop artist because that's Christian hip hop to me. Christian hip hop is made for the sole purpose of ministry, no matter how artistic it goes.
Yeah.
The purpose of it, even when in its most artistic moments, is still to point people to Jesus. which is a beautiful thing. I'm a Christian. If anybody knows that's a beautiful thing, it's me.
Yeah.
But I think that there's a space for that, which is Christian hip hop. And I think there's a space outside of that for artists who are Christian, who are just as in love with Jesus as the Christian hip hopper. So,
yeah.
You
know who would be in that same boat? Toby and Wigway.
Okay, yeah. I would call him. Yeah, I would say.
Yeah.
And the interesting, like, even people have, I remember, like, people like Lecrae and Andy, like, as of recent, some years ago, they were trying to go that route too.
Yeah.
Because they were getting notoriety outside of Christian hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So I think that they were trying to play into that and lean into that. And I think they saw after a while that that's only going to either be temporarily a thing for you, or what have you, because you know what I'm saying, you can't, like, if all roads for you lead back to Christian hip hop, like you can't go on Sway, you can't go on the Breakfast Club and say, when they ask you about your music and ask you about Christian hip hop, and you say, well, I don't do Christian hip hop, I'm just a hip hop artist. Like, you talking like me now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, and then they ask you about it, and you say, why? They say, well, why do they call you Christian hip hop? And Lecrae on a Breakfast Club says, well, because that's just how people frame things.
Yeah.
No, they call you that, and I'm saying this in love because that's my homie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if same applies to Andy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, they call you Christian hip hop because that's what y'all are.
Yeah.
Like, and now that they like, I don't know about Andy as much, but I know Lecrae seems to have kind of like come back to the fold of Christian hip hop because that's where you're king.
Yeah.
When you much rather sit on the throne in your kingship, like your kingdom of Christian rap, just figuratively speaking.
Yeah.
King, but like, just figuratively speaking, if Lecrae is the king of Christian rap, why would you want to spend more money and time trying to build in that world when you already platformed and position yourself to be in a certain spot and solidify? Because
I think he didn't know how to maneuver in what you talk about. Like, and what I mean by that is he understood it, but then I remember seeing something that Joe Baraka was like, bro, just embrace it. You're like Kirk Franklin to these kids. Like Kirk, you know what I mean? Like, you just embrace it. You're like, why are you running from it? People know what you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, it's not what it is. But I get it. I understand. I'll say this. I understand the business model of it, and it's hard for business wise and honestly. And I think when you're ministry minded, you don't understand what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is sometimes when you have labels, especially when you're signed to a label, some of these labels don't know how to market Christian hip hop at all. They when you go there, they be like, yo, how do we market this? Do we market it through a church? Can you perform at a stadium? Can you perform at this and this? And Lecrae probably looking at them like, yeah, I'm doing that now. What are you talking about? So I think that from the business side, looking back now, I understand why they were going where they were going. Now, from a person that was in the community and you hearing, I ain't with them kind of vibe, like I ain't with Christian rap, it kind of like, oh, that sucks because we support you, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I understand it now as a business move. It's like, as a business move, you're so used to marketing towards like prior, like Rebel Lecrae era is so used to marketing at churches and outreach stuff, and then when he gets to church clothes and Gravity is now like, yo, I'm trying to get you in these small clubs, these small stuff. So you may have to say, you for business sake, that the Christian banner may not be a good look for you. But like you said, once he realized that, he was like, well, let me just come back.
Because Cray my dude. Like, people say, like, I mean, he said my name on his last album. Like, they won a Grammy. Like, so I can't say me not, like, that's my guy. Like, me and Cray, I talked for 2 years. We see each other. You think we's related.
Got you.
That's my dog. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
but you know what's so funny? I think he related to a lot of you guys. I think what's the funny part is I think he related more to you guys than Crossmovement, and he was signed with them.
He said that. He said that to me. He told me that. He told me that to my face in Philly. Like, when he did the tour, the last time I saw him in person was in Philly when he did the tour with Maverick City.
Got you.
And they performed in Philly and we saw each other.
Yeah.
And Saint was with me. It was me and Saint, man. and he was talking to us outside the venue. He was like, man, what y'all was doing was so ahead of its time. He was like, man, we got so much inspiration from what y'all were doing, and we kind of related, and we were seeing where y'all were going, and we finally understood after a while what y'all were trying to communicate.
Yeah.
And I think that they saw what we did, and they saw that it was a lane. Like, yo, there's a lane for Christians outside of Christian music, but that doesn't mean that you belong there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think, again, I'm not saying that obviously they get love outside of Christian music, obviously, but I think that their bread and butter is in the Christian community. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
Like concerts and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and also too, I was gonna say too, and you know what I mean, I say this. I've become a lot less heavy-handed against like the Christian hip hop thing for me. And here's why. As of recent in particular, because of people mentioning me like the legends, like the Lecraes on their albums, the Thizzles in interviews and podcasts, like Q Flow on Holy Culture, saying like the things that people say about me in Christian hip hop, like, when they talk about me, it lets me know my impact in Christian hip hop.
Yeah.
So because of that, I got to be honest, bro. Because of that, it has made me understand what I've done more in that community, even if I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
It's made me understand the love and the respect that I got from that community and still get from that community, even if I didn't understand it. So I think that even if I still say I'm not a Christian hip hop artist, but allow other people to call me that, because obviously they can call me that based on the invitation, I think that even if I don't call myself that, I've been and am becoming even more less heavy-handed against it.
Got you.
Be real. I'm just be real. I can't. I can't listen to people like new artists like Q Flow from Philly talk how he talks about me and my impact on him, and be as and sit and it sit well with me. The level of heavy-handedness that I kind of have been.
Yeah.
Towards Christian hip hop, I can't. It doesn't sit right with me. You know what I mean? I can't listen to Lecrae talk about how I inspired him to my face and on his songs.
Yeah.
And not understand the impact that I've had and embrace it.
Yeah.
Like embrace it. And it don't mean I'm going to define my music in the ways that they define their music.
Yeah.
But I will be a lot less heavy-handed on that community, I think, because I understand things now that I didn't really grasp about even my own impact on that community. Got
you. Man, thank you so much, bro. This has been good. This has been good. I hope it's been therapeutic for you.
it was dope, man. I was looking forward to it, man. It was
bro.
I mean, I'll probably be back in Atlanta soon so we can, you want to do one-on-one with me and you again on camera in person, or with you and the guys with track. It's
we probably have you if you come through. I'm gonna give you all the info. I'm gonna text you all the information how to get booked. Okay. And you come through. I don't know if it's gonna be an interview, but it's gonna be a hosting. So your opinion's gonna be valid. So people will listen to it like that. So, but before we go, let me do my top 10 real quick.
Okay.
And here it is. Is it this or that? You know what I'm saying? If you can't decide, if you can't decide, my only quest is that you share the gospel with somebody. If you can't choose between which ones I'm saying, you be like, I gotta do both. All right, you ready? All right, here you go. This or that. Cheese steaks from Pat's or Geno's?
Neither. Neither. And no real Philly person is going to say either of them. That's a tourist. Those are both tourist locations.
Okay, so me and my wife come to Philly. Where you going to take us for a nice cheesesteak?
It just depends on what side of the city y'all on.
Got you. Okay.
So where y'all want to go? Like where y'all going at? Like if y'all on my side of town in West Philly area, or like close to those suburbs outside of West, because I'm right at the edge of West Philly, close to the suburbs. It's like if y'all over there, I'll probably take y'all to Larry's. That was Kobe's favorite spot.
Got you.
I might take y'all to gyms. You know what I'm saying? On my
Okay.
old block where I used to be at. I
Okay.
might take y'all to Max's where Kevin Hart and Gilly and Wallow and Major Figures from. May take you there. It just depends, man. It's so many
Got you.
places in Philly that's official, but neither.
Got you. Okay.
I'll share it.
Okay. Cobbs Creek Park or Malcolm X Park?
Cobbs Creek Park. Cobbs Creek. Malcolm X Park is different than Cobbs Creek Park. Malcolm X Park is really just like the square radius of a city block.
Got you.
It's like a square block. It's like where a block would be. It's a park right there.
Got
It's
you.
like, kind of like Carroll Park. You know what I'm saying? Carroll Park is where I shot some videos in the summertime for some other singles I shot. Like I shot in there. But I Cobbs Creek because that's where the move bombing happened. That's where my grandparents lived. My father lived. That's right on my edge of West Philly on 63rd Street. So
got you. Okay. The Eagles winning a Super Bowl or the 76ers winning the NBA Finals?
Eagles winning the Super Bowl.
Got you. Okay.
Eagles winning the Super Bowl, and especially this one with this when we running it back with Kansas City. So,
got you. Cosmic Kev.
Yeah.
Or Han Solo.
That's tough. That's tough because they both kind of like are very impactful to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Han Solo's the first person that took me to like a real studio, like in Philly downtown.
Got you.
Larry Gold downtown. So and Hans is like I found out that me and Hans are actually like cousins through marriage. It's crazy.
Wow. Yeah. You relate to everybody.
Crazy, bro. Crazy.
Yeah.
Like Obama related to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So I would have to say Hans.
Okay.
So because he was more in close proximity to me, even though like Kev has played my music before actually on the Come Up Show.
Wow.
Radio station, stuff like that. I remember I ran into Kev in a restaurant and I walked up to him and he was like, he looked at me like first like, oh, here comes some dude just trying to and then when I told him, because he had already been hearing about me and my music, and I think he heard some songs and he was like, "Dad, he different. He different. Like I could tell he Christian, but he different. Like he could be on like Rockefeller or something."
Yeah.
So when I told him who I was, he was like, "Oh," he was like, "You Japhia." Oh, so it just like he showed me instant love. So as much as I want to say Cosmic Kev, and because of what his impact on Philly rap has been, and his influence in supporting rappers here, I still got to say Hans.
Got you. So, all right. You said Hans, yeah. Well, of course, he's on Hell's Diary too. So Hans was on.
He had a radio show too. And I kind of like parodied his radio show for that album.
Yeah. All right. Hell's Diary or Nazareth?
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna say Hell's Diary.
Okay.
Say Hell's Diary because Hell's Diary was probably it was so fun to make. It was so much stacked against us, like obstacles and odds, and we weathered the storm. You know what I'm saying? We believed God would do something with us independently. And with that album, me and Saint, man, when I met Saint, because Saint was sampling too. But Saint is Haitian, so he plays at his father's church. He plays keys and guitar. So I told with Hell's Diary, I basically told Saint, I was like, aside from the sample stuff you give me, I was like, yo, even your style of sampling is completely different than a lot of other people's sample. I said, but that aside, the stuff that's non-sample, I said, yo, just take me to the gutters of Haiti.
Got you. Yeah.
Yeah, just give me the like with Early Grave and all of that. Like when I had writer's block when I was doing Early Grave, when there was a cemetery across the street from the studio, and I told Saint I was gonna walk through the cemetery to the store, and I wrote the whole song in my head walking through the cemetery, came back and recorded Early Grave.
Wow, that's crazy.
So I say Early Grave for sure.
So Hell's Diary. All right.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Hell's Diary. Yeah.
Okay. A beat from Rob Hodge or a beat from Saint Man?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's crazy because I just got some new beats from Saint, man. It's crazy too. Man, I'm gonna say a beat from Rob Hodge.
Got you.
I'm gonna say
Okay.
a beat from Rob because we work more closely together today, and we building a sound now that I think is going to be interesting moving forward. Like with my new stuff that's going to come out with my next album. So I would say I was as much saying I love you, but I would just say, and this ain't no knock to Saint, he know that, but I would say right now I would say a beat from Rob Hodge.
Got you. Collaborating with a gospel Christian artist or a mainstream artist?
It just really depends on the artist. I really have I don't really have any barriers or any walls up in terms of like working with Christian artists. You know what I'm saying? It's Christian artists I want to work with. It's artists who are mainstream that I want to work with.
Got you. Okay.
You know? So
yeah. All right. No, got you. So your era of Christian hip hop era, the 2000s era, or the 2010s era of Christian hip hop?
So like, okay, so 20, give me some names from the 2010s so I could juxtapose it against.
Okay, so Eshawn Burgundy would be 2010s.
Okay.
Andy would be 2010s. KB would be 2010s.
Okay.
Trying to think of every people. Who else would be KB? No Big Deal.
Okay.
Trying to think of everybody that came up in the 2010s. That 2010
like
area.
Versus like the Lecraes.
Yeah. Okay. Or whatever did you feel like is the better between the two?
I would say my era.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Just I was in. I mean, I know more about my era. I was like around more.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? And then the art from that era to me was like more like suited for my palette and what I enjoy. You know
Got you.
Even if it was from outside of my crew, it was just like I just appreciated like Lamp Mode and them being so theologically rich but still lyrically dense. Lecrae being able to with Reach Records, do what they did and galvanize a generation around Christ in a way that really spoke to the aesthetics of the time of that generation of artists like Lil Wayne that was coming out, and T.I. and Cray was able to come and, give people that sound, especially in the South early on. But I would say, me, my era, all of us for sure.
All right, this is the last one. I'm gonna let you go.
Cool.
If somebody came up to you and was like, "Man, I like you as a Christian rapper," and then somebody else said, "I like you as a rapper who's Christian," which one you gonna rock with?
I'm gonna tell them I appreciate both. Like no pushback for either. But if they ask me what I call myself, I would say I'm a hip hop artist.
Got you.
My vocation, I'm a hip hop artist. In terms of faith, I'm a Christian. So I would have that conversation with them to let them know like what are their views on the term, because usually all roads in that conversation oftentimes leads back to the word secular and what it means versus what it doesn't mean. And I just think the church has never really unpacked holistically what the word secular even means. So I think that all of us have just oftentimes defaulted to something that was like we know what Christian means. But for me, understanding that secular is not a word that's synonymous with sin necessarily, it's afforded me the ability to have a varied perspective in terms of what I call my music.
Got you.
Knowing that by not calling my music Christian, I'm not, by virtue of not calling it Christian, I'm not calling it sinful.
Got you.
So I would say whatever you call it is cool, but I'm a hip hop artist, bro. But I love Jesus.
Got you. Thank you, brother. Thank you for this. Was it dope, man? Did you? It was good. It's good.
It was dope, man. I was looking forward to it, man. I wish, I wish I could have did it sooner when you wanted us to do it about a week or two ago. But I know I wanted to do it, and I'm happy for you that you got your own platform. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate the support from you. I appreciate you and your guys over at Track Stars always showing me love.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? And I know that because of some of my positioning it has caused some people to not even know that I got love for them in terms of their platforms. And I think that early on, I know when I was in, I was visiting my uncle in Tampa around the same time as Flavor Fest.
Yeah.
And Tommy had asked me to come out, and I came through, and I, went in the back, and they were doing interviews with y'all. And somebody asked me if I wanted to do an interview with Track Stars. I was like, yeah. I said I like what Track Stars is doing. And
Yeah.
I think I forget who said it. I think it might have been Sean. Was like, you like what we do? I was like, yeah. Like, I support what y'all do. Yeah. So I support you, brother. I support you and your whole squad, man. I appreciate you.
Appreciate that, bro.
Yeah.
All right, man. You've been on Kingdom Ox. You know all the socials. Tell everybody what's going on with you, what you got going on, and how to get in contact with you. Everything, bro. Just promo.
Yeah, so everything on social media is at Japhia Life, at JAPHIALIFE, Japhia Life. New music on the way, new album in the works, new single and video the single came out a little while ago, but the video just came out for Coming Home. Shot that in my old neighborhood in front of Jim Steaks. It's freezing. Freezing. Thank God my homie Miz let me hold his gloves. But yeah, so I'm studying film actually to be a filmmaker.
Okay.
As well. So just introducing different films to people who I'm close to, different artists, giving them some depth and dimension, studying different filmmakers, different subjects and content that I want to present to the world in long form. I think one of the reasons that I'm probably not as lit on Instagram as some other people is because I don't really do a lot of short form content.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm about to start doing more short form content, but all of my ideas have really been for long form. So that takes time to do, so I'm thinking about films. I'm thinking about documentaries. I got a documentary I want to do about my old high school, Overbrook High School, with me, Will Smith, Truth, and a couple others went. I got a documentary I want to do about the Black church. I actually got a documentary I want to do about Christian hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I got a film that I want to do. I got actors that I'm already talking to. I'm in a film with Hines and Play from Kid and Play.
Dope.
They're supposed to be coming out soon. So but I want to be much more behind the camera. So my guy that worked with Spike Lee at 40 Acres and a Mule, Alex Wright, that was my first photographer. Actually, let me see. I'm gonna be working with him on some stuff. So this was the first photo that he did.
Wow. I think I remember that joint. I think I remember that.
So it kind of looks like a side view close up of my vinyl of my first album, Pages of Life.
Yeah.
That was his inspiration for that shoot, was my first cover. But he did some documentaries on Netflix. He did Alex Wright. He produced Fresh Dressed with it was like a hip hop documentary about fashion. Playing and when it's on Netflix. And he did Blood Brothers on Netflix. There was a documentary about the relationship and the friendship between Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali. So we just got finished talking. So moving forward this year, we gonna be talking about doing some film stuff together. So yeah, I just want to lend myself to like really clear up some misconceptions about some things, whether it be about hip hop culture, whether it be about church culture, whether it be about the Bible, Christianity. That's like moving forward. The rest of the time that God allots to me here, aside from music, it's going to be film and TV.
Got you.
And podcast too coming.
Got you, man. You need one. You need one because you got.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You can interview people and stuff too, bro.
Yeah, so I did the joint. The Swift was with R. Swift. He asked me to do that black and white joint. The DJ Essence, Joshua Wine, dope director, cinematographer. He actually directed Coming Home with me. He shot that black and white conversation outside of Philly with me and R. Swift. Real dope as a cinematographer. So he's gonna probably be the guy that's coming on board to produce and film my podcast. So aesthetically, it's gonna be
crazy.
Dope. It's going to be a little different than other podcasts, but I already got like 4 or 5 guests lined up.
Got you.
Oh, it should be dope. It should be dope.
Dope, bro.
Yeah.
Well, man, thank you for your time, bro. Thank you for everything. Thank you for being who you are and staying true to who you are, bro. Thank you for this time. We are out.
Appreciate
Kingdom Ox on everything.
Yeah.
All right, man. See ya.
Peace.